Hello, darlings, my waking gods and goddesses. Maria West here. This is episode, I think it's 422, and it's been a long time since I've actually done one of these because I've been out and about in the world and dealing with a lot of death and dying, pain and suffering. And I have with me one of my favorite people on the planet, Crip Rick. And today, hi, sweetheart, we're going to be having this very casual discussion about chronic pain and trauma and its effects on our nervous system, our daily lives, the choices we make in food, in the people we hang out with, the attention grabbers in our lives. And so we're just going to wing it, as they say.
Wigan is awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I do on my show every show. So I'm right at home now.
Well, I like that. And we've been trying to get this together for the last like 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah,
No, two
yeah,
weeks because I was gone.
yep.
And then and then just all kinds of electrical issues,
Oh
all
my God, it's
kinds of
horrible.
issues with the fucking internet and power outages. So you're getting power, I'm getting power outages. We do rotating brownouts. They never
Oh
exactly
wow.
tell you when the fuck they're gonna do it, but then when they do it large.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I remember I messaged you last week and right before we were going to do this. And I said the power company came to my door. They're like, "Well, we got to shut the power off because they are doing work around my area." And then I'm like, "Well, how long?" And we all know that answer is they go, "Oh, well, from now till who knows, maybe 5 hours, 6 hours." They don't give you a time when they're going to flick the power back on. And it was like 5 hours later that they finally flicked the switch back on for me. So
Yeah. Yeah, and that amount of time is actually really kind of sketchy because if you have a freezer,
that's right.
all kinds of things can go bad.
Yep.
And they're
There's
not
no
going to
warning.
compensate you for any loss of food or anything. They don't care.
No, no, they don't care. And that's a good point. They don't warn you. If I had warning, then I could like kind of put ice bags in the fridge and there is ways to keep the fridge cold for long periods of time, but they don't tell you. They just come and kind of give you this 10-second warning.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, like,
Yeah.
okay.
Or we're going to turn the water off. I've had that happen where I'm like mid shower and all of a sudden I've got soap in my hair, shampooing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm hearing the knock on the door and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then the water goes off when they just decide we need to do something. Okay.
Yeah, you're sitting there
Um,
going, what?
yes. So
Crazy.
yeah, chronic pain, sweetheart. I know you know this well. I know
Yeah.
this well. We had a brief little discussion about um, the chronic pain of physical physical things, of emotional things, mental things, all of it.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember. I still remember. I still have the text I sent you, and that was a while back. And I was in a. It was a rough time at that moment because it was like this. I don't like. Yeah, I go through these moments where I become very worried. Maybe self-aware is a good.
Hmm.
And I worry, and this is the work on myself. This is what I've realized recently. Is this is probably the work on myself, is that I'm so scared that the chronic pain I've been in for since I was 16, so way more years, I got a lot of years of chronic pain under my belt. And I'm so worried, Mario, that it is pain changes you over
Hmm.
time. Chronic pain changes you. And anyone that's listening that's in chronic pain knows that it chips away at you slowly. And I that's what I worry about. Like I worry that it's making me a colder person. It's making me a more bitter person. And sometimes I'm just a nasty. And I don't mean to be. I don't like that aspect of myself, but that's what I worry about. That this is the work I'm doing on myself. It's a hard, I don't know how better to say it than it just chips away at your soul. It's this constant. If you're in constant pain, it changes who you are. And I've
Mhm.
seen the changes in myself, both good and bad, over the years. And so I'm always checking in with myself because I don't want to lose my compassion and I and my care. I'm so worried that it's becoming really calloused over time. And I think that that's from this chronic pain just kind of beating down on me. So
Mhm. Do
I
you
don't know.
feel that way just in terms of, how you view yourself, how you regard yourself, the loss of compassion, the loss of care? Is it more directed at yourself inwardly or directed outwardly
Mm,
or both?
it's both.
Mhm.
And I still have this is the weird, this is the struggle that I do because I know I have care. I'm a very caring person, and I hate saying that because people always say things that,
You are
yeah,
very
but
caring.
I try to be. I'm very aware of it, and but I also see the side of me that is getting kind of colder
Hmm.
towards things, and I can just to give you an idea. And I'm not sure why this story came to me, but and I don't know, maybe you can make sense of it, but it's always stuck with me. And I remember when I was probably like 10, and we had a neighbor that was up the street, and I still remember their names and everything. Like it's such a vivid memory. But it was the mother and father who were friends with my parents. That was Ann and Joe, and they had two kids. They had a daughter named Stacy, and they had a son named Scott, who was special. He had a definitely he had like a brain injury when he was a kid, so he was, he had problems basically. And he already had brain surgery by that point and stuff like that. So he had some mental disabilities. And I remember becoming friends with them. And remember we were playing and I was walking him home because I would walk him home. I'd go get him and I'd walk him home because I wanted to take care of him. And a bully of the neighborhood came and started picking on him because of his disability. And I remember getting so mad and angry that I hit the guy. Like I punched this kid in the face. I was so mad, and then I felt
Yeah.
bad. I even punched the kid, and then I walked my friend Scott home. But that care is what I think about. Like that spark that was
Hmm.
in me. I don't know if this makes any sense. I don't even know
Totally,
why I'm
totally
telling you
makes
this story.
sense.
Like you know what I'm trying. I don't know what I'm trying to put
Well,
into words what I'm
you're a
saying.
protector. You're a
Yeah,
protector. That's part of care,
right.
is to uh defend those that are getting bullied, defend the helpless, the ones that are physically weaker.
Yeah,
I get it. I totally
yeah.
get it.
But that spark, right? Like that whatever that was. I don't know what that was, but I remember it still. And I remember that I was always, this is probably what I'm going with this. I was always somebody that was very, very in tune with other people.
Hmm.
And if they were upset or stuff like that, I was very around their shoulder. I would try to be there, talk to them and stuff. That is what I'm losing with this chronic pain over the years.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
how I'm dialing in on it is I'm losing some of that. And I'm sure it's the chronic pain. I'm sure it's society. I'm sure there's a lot of things coming in, but I worry that it's this condition I'm dealing with that is slowly changing who I am. And it's not always for the better, to be honest.
I hear you. I hear you. One of the things that I so appreciate about you over the years, and I feel like, our relationship, our friendship has actually deepened because of our vulnerabilities. Um, I don't have that many friends. I have a small circle of friends that I know in person and also know just online, such as yourself.
Mhm.
Um, and in that small circle that's quite international, you are one of the, I can count on my hand, 5 people in 4 different continents that checks in on me. So we check in on each other. which I so appreciate, regardless of what is going on, regardless of what time of the year it is, you are very, very consistent with that. And I appreciate that because I think, and especially with the COVID, the level of isolation and internal suffering in isolation
Yeah.
it is intense. It's intense. And the physical suffering and the mental emotional, just based on the collective trauma of the COVID, on top of our childhood traumas, on top of relationship traumas, on top of the increased suffering at the hands of psychopaths. It's beyond measure. And, one of the things that we talked about is the fear, in addition to losing compassion and losing our empathy and going into, I just don't give a fuck anymore, is the question, does this chronic pain and suffering, does it lean us toward being victim narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths? Because I know, based on my own experience, that and just speaking to your point about losing compassion, losing empathy, is that when I have encountered people who utilize under their narcissistic, sociopathic, psychopathic filters, trauma and wounds to extract and trigger my empathy and my compassion to harvest my attention, my energy, my resources, because I know that you're like me. You want to see the best in humanity. And there's just a lot of really bad fucking people out there. They are not good people.
That's right.
They will fuck you over in a heartbeat and not think twice about it and then fucking blame you.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like this is the stuff I think about so often. And I keep saying this, it's the work I'm doing on myself. And you make great points that yeah, like people, I have a small circle of friends too. I really do. I keep things small. Now, yes, I'm like you. I do interviews and I do radio all the time and stuff like that. But I mean, in my personal life, it's a very small, and
Yes.
these are friends that I've had for 30 years. They've
Yes.
kind of been there from like I have one friend, Erin, who's amazing. She's friends with my wife and I, and we've known each other like 30 years. It's just it's rare in this day and age to have somebody, and she's such a caring person. So I'm blessed to have a few people. I can count them on one hand. I'm like you. I can count on one hand the people in my personal life around me that I consider really close and I think have my best interests, and I know they have my best interests at heart and they care. And then but it's hard online, like you were saying. I see, that's what this is, the good and the bad of the internet, is that it makes things like this happen. I get it. I like tech for this. It makes all of this happen. But I think we're losing. I think, and this is another thing I worry about, we're losing that ability to empathize with people, especially in person. We're becoming so isolated, and what happened with the pandemic, um, definitely it really made that worse. I think people really went isolated. Now everybody's kind of inside doing their thing online, and I think they consider that the same thing as being in person. I don't know if they do, but I know it's different when you're in person. There's
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
very
no,
different in
I
the
don't
energy.
either.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have such a deep appreciation for it, um, because there's just so many factors about traveling. First of all, it's very expensive.
For sure.
It takes a toll, and you have to interface with matrix realities and shit shows, other people, schedules, transport, food stuff, energy stuff, like a lot of times for me, I'm very adept when I travel, but at the
Mhm.
same time, it does take its toll because you have to be constantly aware of not just your environment, but you have to really kind of monitor your just kind of monitor your energy and your life force
Mhm.
because it's you can easily have your attention hijacked to the point where you just become another drone in the
Mhm.
matrix. And I've caught myself a number of times where I'm going, "Whoa, dude, you just lost consciousness for the last 25 minutes. Where the
Oh
fuck have
yeah.
you been?"
Yep.
And where was I? I was ruminating over this, that, and the other thing, and completely fallen off the wagon of my center
Yeah. Isn't
and
that it?
being
Yeah.
influenced by, whatever the consensus matrix reality is active, was active during that time. That's scary shit.
It is. When I think about how they hijack our consciousness, it's amazing. Like, I you have to admire them. And I hear that I've
Hmm.
heard Mark Passio say that you have to admire these social engineers for what they're doing and how they're hijacking humanity. It's brilliant what they're doing when you think about it, because man, have they hijacked people's consciousness and they steer humanity exactly where they want us. It's and a lot of things over the years, that we've already brought up have really made me aware of that. How bad it was. I was just like,
Hmm.
oh my God, like people
Yeah.
are really not present. They're not. They are so manipulated, and their time and their thoughts and especially their emotions with social
Hmm.
media and online is just people are in this reactive state, and it's only getting worse. And you do. I kind of we all slip in and out, of course we do. We're human. I mean, it's
Hmm. Yes.
yeah, and I catch myself though, where I'm just like, oh my God, and that's why I try not to buy into things online and stuff like that. You got to be careful. You have to be careful because I went down every rabbit hole I think anyone can name when it comes to conspiracy stuff and that, which is all great. Having this
Yeah.
knowledge is not a bad thing.
Oh, for sure. But I'm
You know,
done. I'm
yeah,
done.
I'm like that too. I'm like, I don't want no more kind of thing.
I don't want to do it.
I
I
don't want
don't
to
want to
do it
do
no
it.
more.
It's like, oh, okay, here we are.
Yeah,
But
it's never
those
ending,
things cycle. Those things cycle.
right?
I know for me, I have particular, like there are particular categories where I'm just like, going, no, fuck no, I'm not going there again. I don't care.
Yep.
And people will like ask me, why don't you talk about this? It's like, dude, okay. I had a whole thousands of videos on this shit on the old channel. I'm not going there. I don't want to repeat it.
Yeah.
It's like go to Mark Passio, go to other people who want to do that shit. I want to offer solutions to this chronic, whether it's mental, emotional, uh, and how to manage the physical, mental, emotional pain that is part of, like, I think, daily life.
Yeah.
And if you have to ask whether you are a victim, narcissist, sociopath, psychopath, okay, because those things are not going to self-reflect. It would never occur to them to ask the question. Um, but that I think is part of the brilliance of social engineers because they have figured out how to weaponize woundology,
Oh yeah.
how to weaponize your traumas. And so I think there's like this very fine line where you can go over that fine line and you are down that slippery slope of my traumas and my pain and my this and my that and fuck off already. And then
Yep.
you get to sit there and upchuck. And I've had in the last as you know, I have sat with thousands and thousands of people over the last nearly 40 years of doing my trauma deactivation work. And I got to tell you, it's only been in the last 10 years where I've literally had to fire. I'm trying to think, what is the count? I'm thinking, what is my count at this point over the last 10 years? How many clients I have had to fire? Okay, it hasn't been that many. So seven clients.
Okay.
And the point that I'm endeavoring to make is that these are people who, over a short period of time, and when I say short period of time, it becomes very clear within the first 3 meetings where their shadow of narcissism, sociopathy, and psychopathy starts to rear its ugly heads. And I say heads multiple because we're talking severe mental illness where there's an attachment to being an MKUltra super soldier and sex slave. I mean, these people are like attached to having that label. And I'm sorry, but I've done enough work on so many people where I can spot the poseurs. And these are the people that are going to weaponize everything that they have read, act as if it's happening to them, whether it has or not. That's not the point. It's the aggressive nature of the projection of that particular woundology, victimhood, and really souping it up with all the accoutrements and the clothing, the all the stories that are scripted verbatim. Like I just remember sitting with this one woman as an initial sort of um, uh, uh, get together on the Zoom, trying to figure out if I even want to work with this person. You know, I don't work with everybody. In fact, I probably don't work with 95% of the people that come my way because fuck no, I'm not going there. You know, I don't have to. But with this particular person, you know, it's very obvious she's reading something. And I am like, where have I read this before? Like, I know I've read this before. So lo and behold, afterwards, I look it up and it's actually somebody's blog.
Oh.
It's somebody's blog verbatim. And I'm thinking, yeah, you know, your spidey senses start tingling and you're going, because, you know, I've been at this so long that I've had my compassion and my empathy weaponized against me, where I've had people just bold face lie to me about who they are, not knowing that whoever referred them to me told me that they referred them to me, and they're using different names. So, you know, the level of deception to endeavor to engage me as a practitioner and then try to feed me all this bullshit. It's like, wow. I mean, you cannot make up this shit. And then they get pissed when you just say, no. So I have people sign an agreement with me. And part of that agreement is if you don't do the shadow work, you don't do the journaling work, you don't do the homework, I have the right to terminate our time together. No questions. Just boom, you're done. I'm not going to bother. And that is, you know, going back to what we were talking about losing compassion, losing your empathy, losing, giving two shits. I think part of that journey is laying down a boundary about what you will engage and what you won't engage. And I think laying down that boundary is really it's good self-care. It is a good sort of filtering process to like kind of weed out the bad eggs and the sort of disruptors, people who just want to fuck with you.
Hmm.
And they're willing to pay you so they could fuck with you
That's
and then
crazy. Yeah.
blame you, when they decide, they've had enough. And so yeah, so 7 people in the last 10 years. Oh
That's
Lord. And several of them have found me through One Great Work Network. So if you
oh.
think people coming to you through One Great Work Network is a good filter and a good vetting process, au contraire, you know,
Mm.
because it brings along a lot of fucking crazy, unhinged, unintegrated people who are they're looking for attention.
It's really, you got me thinking. As you're speaking about this, I'm really thinking about them. Are you like about people? And
Hmm.
and 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 I wanted to ask you because I get questions. It's the interviewer me. I can't help it. But because I've noticed that too, that people seem to be taking on these, especially online, and this is where I see it mostly. Now I have seen it in my personal life, but as I said, I keep my circle small.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
not really around me, but I've seen people do this, but especially online, they adopt these, like you said, personas and these stories and that. And why I'm asking you, why do they like it's very evident to me, like what you're describing when you see it, and then you see people doing this, and I'm trying to figure out, is this a symptom of social media? Is this just people that don't know their identity and they adopt another one? Like, I don't know, there's probably a lot going on here, but I find it really fascinating what you're saying about how people, because you hear people, yeah, they'll repeat the same stories, or they're all victims of something. And I don't know
Hmm.
if it's this need to be important or noticed, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think it's an identity crisis for sure.
mm-hmm,
And so what I noticed just based on, my own personal experience as a trauma practitioner, deactivation practitioner, is that the people who really succeed in their lives do not repeat their story.
mm, right,
It's like there's an excavation, of course, when you're doing trauma deactivation work, when you're doing the shadow work, when you're doing outstanding psychotherapy, whatever form it is, when
mm-hmm,
you're doing life coaching. Of course, there's an excavation of those key traumatic events that really robbed you of self-esteem, life force, whatever it is, accidents, illnesses, etc.
mm-hmm,
But I think what happens with some people is that there's an over identification with whatever it is they experience, or an over identification with wanting to have those experiences simply because, um, oh, wouldn't that be cool? And I've had people
oh,
actually talk about that kind of shit to me, like on planes. I had a conversation with a dude that was like going, yeah, that'd be cool to have the experience as, a super soldier, and I could see that ticking in his head. I'm like going, this dude is going to go down the rabbit hole and he is going to twist it around and conflate being a poseur with having had the real experience, and he's gonna fuck with someone. I mean, that was my hit about it. I'm like, whoa, step away from the vehicle, move
right,
along, just go, nothing to see here. And the dude was charming. I mean, he was so charming. I'm like going, wow, I really feel bad for the women that are gonna get entangled in your little
yeah.
web.
But most psychopaths and people with this like narcissists and that are very smooth.
Absolutely.
They have like a devil's tongue almost,
Hmm.
where
Yeah.
they, and I think that's probably where that comes from. I don't know. I've always kind of thought of it that way, that they just have this ability to, and we all know people or seen people that are really good, can get at speaking, and just really they're just good at with talking, like you were
Yeah.
just saying. And it's just like, and then you're just like, wow, like they could do some damage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I, and I,
I've succumbed to that kind of thing, where
yeah,
I'm just like going, oh, okay. Well, oh, here's my debit card. Here's the code. Here's the code. Here's the key. Here's the key to my Audi. Here's the key to my house. Go do it. Oh, you want my underwear off? Okay. It's just like, holy shit. That is some kind of power manipulation thing
yeah.
where, and this is the thing that I tell people, these demons, these narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, they do have their little victim stories, and it's never their fault. It's everybody else's
Oh, of
fault.
course. Yeah.
And what
Yeah.
they do is, they'll actually study you. And if you're online and you have a YouTube channel, or you have an Odyssey channel, or you're on Facebook or Instagram, you're doing your thing, these fuckers will study your ass and then decide how to approach you and manipulate you, and perhaps get in your pants, get in your inner circle, become one of your clients or students, and fucking infiltrate your ass if you don't watch it.
Yeah.
And I've actually had that happen to me, um, which is a very interesting thing in and of itself, which has been my sort of coming of age at age 55. That's 10 years ago, where it's like I I I can't afford to be naive when it comes to setting a boundary and realizing not all humans have good intentions.
That's a tough one, isn't it,
Yeah.
to deal
And
with?
just because you lay down a boundary doesn't mean you think humanity is awful. Although I'm leaning more towards awful. And I hate to say that, but that's just kind of where it's at.
Well, yeah, you
I
gotta
just,
call it.
I don't believe a whole lot of people about what they say, because I've gotten, and the online thing, what you were talking about, I think online makes it even more difficult because people get to say whatever the fuck they want
Oh, yeah. They never say it to
without
your face.
consequences. They don't know you, and they just spew. Like, a lot of times, like the comments, I don't even respond to some of the comments because I'm just like, I don't even know who you are. Like, so I'm very careful now to only make public certain posts, and to just like try to dial it down. But even then, I mean, there's several different tribes, the paganista tribe, the truth and freedom, I mean, so many narcissist, sociopathic, psychopathic trolls.
Mhm.
I mean, they're just disruptors, and they just
Yeah,
get off on it. And are they even real?
that's a good question.
And then of
Yeah,
course, with the likes of the all the AI narratives, you just ask a question, and it'll like spit out this garbage. Yeah, I'm not down with it. I'm really not down with it.
yeah,
And I think people don't realize, that thing is harvesting our thoughts, or actually putting thoughts into people's minds about this, that, and the other thing, whether it's
that's
true or
scary.
not.
Yeah. I rant about AI all the time. I really do. I'm worried
We
about it.
have
I
gone
just,
there.
yeah, we have, me and you have too. Yeah. These are things I worry about, and I just really don't think we're spiritually ready for a lot of this stuff. We're not
No,
mature
or
enough.
not.
Yeah, we haven't grown spiritually. I don't think a lot of people have in a long time. And I keep saying that this is like this. It's once again, it comes down to this inner work, Maria, and it always seems like our conversations go back to that. Is this self work that you have to do on
Hmm.
yourself? And for
Yeah.
me, it's constant. I was saying at the beginning of the show here that this is the work I realize the work I'm doing on myself. I'm very yeah, I don't want to ever become off as a victim and start being
Yeah.
going down that path. I worry about that, but then you want to kind of tell people where you're at, what you're dealing with, just because I think it helps people to hear that they're not the only ones
Yeah.
that are struggling with things in that.
Well,
And
and so I'm curious, what does that work that you're doing, the work that you're doing entail? And can you tell us a little bit
yeah,
about just the specifics of what you're having to face?
it's the work I do on myself is it's very it's constant, to be honest. I call it checking in with myself, and I'm becoming really good at noticing things when I do the work on myself. And the work it's not complicated. I mean, it's really just sitting with yourself and really examining things and becoming aware when something you the more I do it, the more I pick things up quicker
Hmm.
about myself. Like I hone in on it very, very quickly, especially if I'm trying to lie to myself, because people love to lie to themselves. And if I know people watching and listening, but I don't lie to myself. Yes, you do. So stop. You lie to yourself. We're masters at lying and
Yeah.
deceiving
Or
ourselves.
pretending is the same
Yeah,
thing, or by
exactly.
omission.
There
I'm
you
not gonna
go.
look at that.
Yep. Yeah, and so I tell people that's the work, but you become aware of it the more you do the work. It sounds like a cliche, but it's true. And so now when I trigger something triggers me or something upsets me or I get angry, mind you, lately what's been going on with my mother-in-law has got me.
Mm,
It's tough.
yeah.
It gets me going. It gets me angry, but I become aware of it, and I think that's where the work lies. Is you have to be willing to sit and kind of examine things about you, good and bad, and then kind of that's the work, and
Hmm.
that's the work I'm doing right now. Is and that's why I sent that message a while back, because at that moment I was like really aware. I was like, I'm changing, and I don't know necessarily if it's for the better at times.
Hmm.
I keep
Yeah.
saying that because I'm realizing, and this is the work I'm doing. See, it gets me upset because when I think about it, I don't want to change that part of me that makes that caring part,
Hmm.
because I just remember all through my life being like that person. Like I interview people because I find them interesting and I want to help them and get to know them, kind of things. And that, yes, it does get weaponized against you. I've had that happen many times too. It's crazy how some people can just be like energy vampires and they
Hmm.
will just
Yes.
latch on, and oh my God, it's like, and it's soul crushing when these happens, especially when you start caring about the person and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a lot of work, but that's the work I do, and it's kind of like, it's just sitting with myself. I love the journal. Journal is huge. I
Yes.
think that helps
It
me
is
kind of,
huge.
yeah, it helps me kind of get my thoughts out and seeing them on paper. I still use pen and paper. Seeing the words and that and looking at them really helps. And then music. Like these are the things, and when I'm listening to music or playing music, that's when I'm doing that work. Like I'm kind of in that zone. And yeah, it's tough. The
Yeah.
work is tough, and it's until you do it, you won't know what I'm talking about or what you're talking about,
Hmm.
kind of thing. And that,
Indeed.
yeah, it's
Indeed.
just,
And you're married, so
yeah.
when we're in partnerships, and our significant others, whether we're married or not, doesn't matter.
Hmm.
There is that sort of being together but separate, and also being separate but being together.
Yes.
Do you check in with her, with
Oh,
Jen,
oh yeah.
about, yeah? So you guys have a conversation about what's happening,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, all the time.
conversations.
Yeah, about everything.
Good.
We're very good at talking about things like that. And yeah, it's an interesting relationships. The longer they go are super interesting to me, and it's getting rarer. By the way, these long relationships. It's crazy how
Yes.
that's deteriorated as well. Like relationships are kind of this really, it's just strange to me. I feel like I'm a stranger in a strange land at times. I'm just like, this nothing here makes sense anymore. And that's the kind of the work too, is trying to figure this whole shit show out. But and we talk about that a lot too, you and I. But
Hmm.
yeah, like I just think it's very rare that you get relationships that have got this test of time,
Yeah.
and then you have to check in with each other, but you don't want to be overpowering either. It's this dance that you have to do.
Yes.
And we've talked about this a long time ago. I think we talked about this. It's hard to word what I mean, but
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a
I,
balance.
so
Yeah.
perhaps you can kind of illuminate some things for me. Christopher and we've been together 5.5 years.
There you go.
We got together, we got to know each other after I had to come back to America at the beginning of 2020. And then like I met him within 12 hours of being back in America. And
Oh.
we've been together ever since. We lived separately,
Hmm.
I mean, we have some differences. His house is very modern and sleek and is inundated with Wi-Fi, Siri, and Alexa. It's like I don't have any of those bitches in my house. Okay, so I live in a Faraday cage, and he is like, yeah, I like it all. 24/7. I can't do it, but we're it's like we're very much alike. But the places where we are different, holy
Oh
moly. I
yeah.
mean, we are in different universes.
But that's an
And
opposite, right? The opposite, they say opposites attract, and I
true,
always kind of thought that was
true,
silly.
true, true.
So
But
yeah.
in terms of like, it, we have a lot of no-go zones where he's not interested in my work. He's not interested in what I do. Just can't, doesn't have the bandwidth
Hmm.
or the interest. And and I know a lot of it. Mark Passio, bless his heart, because he's such he's been such a great person in my life to really, not that I need validation, but validate kind of um my core values um that have always
Yeah.
been. And I'm like 15 years older at least. I mean, I can't remember. I don't remember when he was born exactly, but that being said, I'm of a different generation.
Yeah.
So, and Christopher and I were 49 days apart. So I am like this open book, and I just talk about everything, and he is not.
Hmm.
So I'm a Libra, he's a Virgo. And so this I'm like, and he is very, very shut down, very, I'm very passionate, I'm loud, I'm expressive, and he is more pedantic, persnickety. He can be really, really petty at times. But I'm always the sort of the love child, and I just want to hug and kiss everybody, and he's just like not having any of that stuff. So our mode of communication, where we tend to get a little lost, is that I just share everything, and he doesn't share anything. So we're
Mm.
at the complete divergent pathways on that, and so the sharing bit is a challenge for me because I just want to say it all.
Yeah.
I want to say it all, and he doesn't have the bandwidth. And I know for a fact that it's based on being raised by a bully. His father was a bully and very dismissive. And I was raised by a very dismissive bully
Hmm.
psychopath. So I've got that, but I just learned that if I don't speak my mind, if I don't examine these things, I will die. Whereas there is this sort of shutdown thing. And so part of what I'm learning is to not overshare with him, and to also really move into that place of acceptance where this is a person that is wired differently from me. We amazingly enough have similar values, and our morality is very similar. So there are those attributes and aspects that are really the foundation of our of our relationship, but
Hmm.
it is tough because and I want to speak to this because there is the overt trauma, like physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, on and on. And then there's the covert trauma of um, abuses and negligence and criticism that like cuts a person down.
Oh yeah.
And it's just the soul crushing. And I think to a degree that has happened to him, that, the whole soul crushing thing. So of course, we're like doing this dance of endeavoring to meet each other where we're at, even though we're not
Hmm.
sure how to navigate all that. It's like really super, super challenging, which feeds into my own traumas of not feeling like I belong anywhere. So, the further alienation thing. So that's like the ongoing theme, which is kind of my chronic emotional pain and heartache. I have a lot
Wow.
of grief. I walk with grief every moment of my life because there have been so many losses.
Mhm.
And so far it hasn't materialized physically, but I I'm that's in the back of my mind. It's like, okay, when is it going to show up?
All right. Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
because
Jeez.
there is a stacking effect, accumulation of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, and see this, when you tell me this, I find it so interesting because I find relationships interesting as well because it is this weird dance that I keep saying that you do, and every relationship has got their I don't want to say problems, but it's got
Mhm.
its challenges because people are so different, and I think that is what is so amazing and should be embraced as our differences. I think that
Mhm.
you've and um you make a lot of great points, and I'm so thank you for saying that too, by the way, like sharing that because I think it's going to help people kind of that are in relationships realize like wow they're work they really are work, but I don't want to make
Indeed.
it sound like
Wow.
a bad thing. Yeah, like it's not a bad work, it's work, but you have to see what really I caught on to what you're saying, Mari, is that you have these core foundation things that are what anchor your guys relationship, it sounds like.
Hmm.
And I'm very much like that with my wife. Like we are very you get married, you're one and done. That's it. You know what I mean, kind of thing. Family's
Hmm.
really important. Real friendships are really important. And those are core things that should be I think that should be what relationships are kind of that
Yeah.
foundation are built on, which a lot of I don't think they are anymore. I think it's getting tougher to have that for a multitude of reasons that we've been talking about, to have that foundation. But it's these differences I think that should be embraced. And I mean, how boring would it be if you guys were identical? That would be, I mean, that would
Oh
be,
God.
wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah, like I'm just like, oh my God, like if my wife was just like me, I'm like, I can't tolerate myself sometimes, like bear myself. I couldn't imagine. But I look at it's this work of having to realize that people are, you said it perfectly. People are different, and you have to
Yeah.
realize that. And you're
Yeah.
not going to change. I hate when it's like, oh, I'm going to change him. You're not going to change him,
No,
not
I
in any
I I
significant
don't
way.
want to change him, to
Right,
be
exactly.
perfectly honest,
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
change somebody's core. I mean, you can work on it and stuff like that, but there's certain things that they're just you're not going to change. That's who they are, and that's the way it is, kind of thing. And but it's a really interesting this dance that you do, and I think
Hmm.
it's important too to have your own separate things. You brought that up. I've mentioned this.
Yeah.
Have your own interests. It doesn't mean that your partner or your whoever you're with has to love everything that you do and want to be a
Oh,
part of everything that you
exactly.
do.
It doesn't mean
Yeah,
they have to be involved,
there you
and I
go.
think I
That's
was
important.
in that mindset somehow, that if you're going to be in a perfect partnership, that everybody needs to talk about everything and you need to
Hmm.
have similar interests and be part of it. It's like, oh, stop,
Yeah.
stop. It's a big trap that caused me a lot of pain over the
Yeah.
years,
Because other people
because
argue, yeah, like you
it,
don't like
because,
what I like. It's like, okay.
well, exactly, exactly. And even musically, I mean, we have certain he's learning the piano.
That's awesome.
We love we love jazz, but I
Hmm.
come from a real, core rock and roll punk rock
I love that about you.
background. So,
Yeah.
there are a lot of wacky things that I've done, and he's just like, not into it. And that's cool. You don't have to be into it.
Yeah. That's important. It really is. Like, yeah, like and but see that with my wife and I, we are very similar in a lot. We're very similar in a lot of ways. Where we're similar, we are really similar. And where we're different, we are night and day.
Yeah.
Like it's that thing. Like we're both very artistic, like extremely artistic. My wife is an amazing artist and photographer and stuff like that. Like she's just got this gift. She gets it from her mother. And it's really like that, so that we have that kind of thing, but our taste in music, yeah, we like some of the similar music, but she's kind of on her own. I'm on my own music journey right now. She's on her own music journey. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of music, but we do appreciate the music. It's
Yes.
really it's you have to be willing to let, this is something I've learned too. I've learned over the years is you have to give people room to grow, and things are going to not be the same as they were 10 years ago. People, I would not,
Indeed.
I would hope that you and your partner are growing, and sometimes, and let's be honest, it does happen. You grow in different directions, and
Yeah.
for whatever
Yeah.
reason,
And
you know what I mean.
I think that is okay.
It happens. Let's be honest, it happens, right? Like I don't know why that is. I don't if it's a spiritual journey, if it's this, maybe the other person's not willing to grow with you. I've heard
Hmm.
people say that before, like, oh, I'm trying to better myself, and my partner just is happy not doing anything, kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't have the answers. I'm not a therapist,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I can go by what I know is that you have to give people, and this goes for my wife and people around me, like they're gonna change over time. I know I've changed drastically over
Yes.
the years, and thank God that I have people that are letting me explore and
Hmm.
grow and
Hmm.
stumble and make mistakes. I think that's really important too. I don't know where that
Yeah.
fits in, but it's important. I do know it's important to give people space, and that's friends, loved ones, whatever it is. They have to have their own space, their own interest. And if you do have somebody that you're with that you do have all the same interests and you love doing things together, hey, all the power to you. I'm not going to shame you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
And also to not feel bad or that there's something wrong with the relationship if you have separate interests,
exactly.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, like I like
I
bowling.
think that's
My
important.
wife doesn't want to bowl. Believe me, she has no interest in bowling, but I like to bowl. I did. I can't do it as well as I used to because of my condition, but I
Yeah.
would always try to get her to go bowling with me. She's like, I'm not going bowling. Like, go away. Like, go throw a ball down the lane and leave me alone. Like, she has no interest in it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well,
Yeah,
you don't want to bowl,
I'm he's a pickleball racquetball person.
and you're not.
I have no interest in it. I'm
Yeah,
interested in martial arts and dancing and that kind of thing. No interest in any of that shit
yeah.
whatsoever.
It's
And
not great,
that's
but he's
cool.
learning piano. Yeah, it's cool, but you're learning. He's learning. Are you teaching him piano? Is it you that's teaching him?
No. Oh, he's
Oh,
asked me to do it. I am not a good teacher, and we've had communication issues in terms of like he's into having these very didactic explanations
mm.
and likes to get focused into like minutia that I
Oh,
am just like, dude, okay, I feel like I'm being choked to death, all right? Like
I
the
get it.
oxygen is being sucked out of the room. I can't do that. So I'm one of those. I'm classically trained, but as you know, I'm a very intuitive. I hear things, I can replicate it like that. I don't need the sheet music.
Yeah.
I don't need that. But
Well, some
so
people need
we're
that.
just not a good match. We're not a
Yep.
good match for like, yeah, you know, theory and on and on and on. You know, he wants to, it's just too, it's too anal for me.
Yeah,
It's too
I know
anal.
people like that. I know exactly what you mean. And I like, I just I'm like that with my father-in-law. We are so different in our thinking, and because he's an engineer, so
Mhm.
he's got
Yeah,
that.
Chris is
He's
an
got
engineer.
yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Oh, I feel for you. There, I get. Oh my God,
It's like,
I'm
oh my word.
they think different. They think, and I've had to learn this as well. See, these are things that you learn over time and stuff. And I had to have a talk. I remember I thought my father-in-law for the longest time hated me. I used to say to my wife, like, your dad hates me. Like, and I've never had a fight with him or anything. And then I remember she went and talked to him, and she's like, Rick thinks that you hate him. He's like, no, I love the guy. We don't think the same.
Yeah, yeah,
He's over here. I'm over here. It's
yeah,
not right or wrong. But then as soon as I
indeed.
heard him say that, I was like, oh, okay. Like, and then we've been having an amazing relationship since I heard that. Since that was
I
explained to me.
love it. I love it. See,
Yeah, it's just
that's
yeah,
totally cool.
yeah.
To Christopher's credit, you know, we bonded over a piano piece.
That's
So
incredible.
this is during the COVID, you know, and we met through a neighbor of mine, a mutual friend, and I needed to have my swamp cooler engaged. It was Mother's Day of 2020. And I hadn't seen him in a while. And of course we're in the middle of the lockdowns. And so, first of all, he comes over, he's not wearing a mask. I'm going, praise Jesus. Holy moly. Yay, no masks. Oh my God. I was so freaking thrilled. I couldn't even contain myself because, I'm up at 7,000 feet and it's getting really, really hot. And I'm watching people on mountain bikes
Oh yeah.
with masks on. Dude, okay, that makes my head hurt. I can't. So when he shows up, they're doing the swamp cooler thing, and I'm sitting at my grand piano and I play this piece called Gardens of Babylon. It's by a French jazz violinist named Jean-Luc Ponty.
Okay.
And I created an arrangement with piano. I also played the violin. But so I conglomerated the bass, the drums, the piano part, the violin part, the guitar part. So I played it all. He comes down and he goes, I know that song. He goes, that's Jean-Luc Ponty. And I'm like, get the fuck out. Get out, dude. So it was on. And so that's the beauty of it is that, okay, I'm not his teacher. I don't want to be his teacher. So he's got all these different programs that he's doing that some of them are online.
Yep.
And he's had a couple of in-person piano teachers, he receives the information from them and then he moves on. But he'll go for play for me, baby. So I'm at piano and we're having coffee and I look at him and he's right there. And so that is such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
so
he has
cool.
tremendous respect and it's like part of our thing. And so in the last 5+ years since he started playing the piano, I can now sit back and listen to a set that he's doing. Mostly he's practicing, but
Hmm.
I can't tell you how amazing and joyous it is for me to sit back and go, he's fucking on it. He's doing
Yeah.
it. Awesome. And he's got a variety of pieces, He's got like the jazz standards and then the piece that he started to learn, which it's Ludovico Einaudi, who's this Italian piano composer. He's done a
Hmm.
lot of soundtracks. And there's this one song that he's been learning over the last 5 years, and
Oh
he
wow.
plays it beautifully now.
That's so cool. See,
Yeah,
you see that growth must make you,
yeah,
I get it. Like when you
yeah,
see them, because when I see people do things that are really cool and they succeed, especially when I've seen people working at it and
yeah.
they're struggling and they're really putting it in
Indeed.
and then they finally get it. That's what my whole music show is about, is
Yeah,
inspiring people
I know.
to play, yeah, like pick up an instrument. If you've been thinking about doing it, the worst that's going to happen is you're not going to like it, and then you find a different instrument or
Yeah,
whatever. But you have to try,
you have to
and then
try.
it's kind of, and then, yeah, and that music show is kind of spawned into art now and dance and everything. I don't know why I even call it a music show. It's kind of just this creative art show of artists.
Yeah, that's cool. That's totally cool. And that's,
Yeah,
that's part of the flow.
yeah,
And so we have that connection.
that's
And for
amazing.
me, that is good enough. That's plenty enough. And because some of my friends are like, oh, he's not interested in your work. Not everybody wants to know the foibles of sex trafficking.
Yeah,
Not everybody wants to hear about the egregious abuses of humanity.
yeah,
Not everybody wants to know about secret fucking societies.
that's right.
Not
That's true.
everybody wants to know how fucked up the matrix really is and
Hmm.
how manipulation works by the elites
Right.
and by the demons that are like running this prison planet. So, it's like, I get it. I get it. I don't have a problem with it. In fact, for the most part, I feel relieved because I don't have to like think about it and try
Isn't
to
that great?
water it down
Yeah.
and distill it um, in a very neutral way. I don't
Hmm.
know how to do that.
Well, you can't live in this, but that's the thing I learned over the years. See, these are things that take time to learn. At least for me, it did. Is that I can't live in that mindset all the time. Like you just,
Yeah.
and it's great when you have a partner or somebody or friends that they're not like you just described. They're not into all this stuff. They don't. It doesn't mean that they don't care. It doesn't mean anything. It's just not where they're at. And that to me, I like being around people like that at times because you can't stay in this state, and that's how most people are now, is they're in
Mhm.
this reactive state or in this
Yeah.
emotional state, and they're constantly every day letting it get to them, and they're interacting with the matrix. They're plugged right in.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
I like the people I can kind of step away from. Like I'm willing to go in there. I do it all the time. I interview people constantly every day, like every day of the week pretty much I'm doing an interview, and we're talking about these important things. But I do really appreciate the opposite of that. And when I can, there's people I can just go to and just have fun. Like we
Yeah.
listen to
Just
music and we talk
have
silly.
fun and not process shit. Holy
There you
crap.
go.
You
You
know?
need that. Yeah, that's so, you know how important that is. That
Mhm.
playtime, I call it, and I
Yeah.
think adults should have playtime. We do it as a children, and that's where that state makes us very. I think it's a healthy state, and we lose that as we get older. I think the matrix drives that out of us.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
feeling of play. I mean, it's you know what I'm trying to say. It's not a bad thing. I
Yeah.
think it's needed,
Yeah. Yeah.
and some people
I'm
don't.
learning how to not carry the weight of the world.
There you go. Yep.
And that's a little rough because and especially someone like me that has been immersed in the deactivation of the shit shows with so many people over the last 4 decades almost. It's practically ingrained in me, and that somehow, and I've connected these dots recently where it's like, God, dude, you can't feel guilty about not wanting to hear about it anymore.
Mhm.
Like I am in the process of like perhaps retiring my work um
Really. Yeah.
and not working with a lot of people anymore
Yeah.
and refocusing in on things. I had somebody and this is based on the show, the interview that you did of me. It was one of the music interviews, and
Hmm.
somebody saw it, and they remembered me from years and years and years ago, where I used to do a one woman show where
That's
I would
right.
have my Tascam 4-track. I shit you not. And I'd have my Roland JX8P keyboard. Uh, I have this keyboard set, had a Roland drum machine, one of the first ones. I mean, it's just so, so cool. So I would pre-record the drum programming, all of that. I would have backup vocals. I would, have my violin, guitar parts, bass parts, some keyboards coming in and out, and then
That's
I would play the
awesome.
main keyboard and do the lead vocals.
Wow.
And this person was like going, holy moly. And I'm thinking, where was this? So it was in Ghirardelli Square. And the dude was like working in one of the office buildings around Ghirardelli Square. And all of a sudden, I hear this wild banshee, like just screaming and doing this vocal thing, and I was cracking up because I remember a bunch of people from the surrounding buildings came over and went, we're trying to work.
And
We're
they
trying to
remember.
work, and this is a little alarming. It's cool, but it's alarming. And when does it stop? you know
Oh my
and I
God.
and I'm like well, of course, by the time they came down, my set was over with, but this person remembered it, and I just started cracking up because, yeah, there we go.
That's hilarious. I love it though. The fact that a 4-track machine, I giggled when
Yeah,
you said that. I was like,
yeah,
oh my God, that goes back. Because
oh yeah,
now it's
oh yeah, we're
crazy.
going back to the 80s.
Yeah, I miss the 80s, don't I really do. But I want to ask you something because you have been doing this work for, like you said, decades. And what I have to I've always wanted to ask you this. Maybe I have. I don't think I have actually directly asked you. How how do you deal, because you're how do you deal with that? Like how that's a long time to really hear a lot of like people's traumas
Yeah.
and working with people that have had really or going through traumatic things or been through traumatic things. How do you shut that off? Like that's what I'm kind of trying to feel. Like we were just
Hmm.
talking about how you got to separate. You can't be in that space all the time.
Yeah.
How do you I don't know how you navigate that. How do you do it for this long? And
Yeah, I do a lot of shadow work around it. I do a lot of
mm,
journaling work. I
journal's
also
great.
I have, one of the things that I did a lot of training, a lot of psychological training, trained in Jungian psychology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a psychologist, but I never got licensed. I didn't want to get married to the state. I didn't want to be certified. I didn't want to sit there and have my head up somebody's ass,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
somebody's shitstem. I refused. I didn't want to
Yep.
be limited because you sign up for that kind of stuff. Any kind of energy work, forget it. You're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
And
Don't die on me.
I feel the shitstem right now, like telling me you can't say that.
Yeah.
And,
Well,
yeah,
I'm just trying to like I think that that balance that you do is important. And then and that's why I
yeah.
wanted to ask you because that's why I'm having trouble sometimes kind of I think that's why I was saying it's important to have people that you can go to that are not like that, like don't look into
Hmm.
the things you do and kind
Yeah.
of it's the opposite thing. And I mean me going like I'm just going like yeah, it kind of seems like this balance is tough, especially with what I'm going through now about like I've learned so much about mental health. Like I've been going through like really learning about not just depression, but
Hmm.
these mental health issues with my mother-in-law and like dementia and Parkinson's
Yes.
and stuff like this. This stuff
It's
is
rough.
it's hard to I can't it's I'm having trouble separating it. Like that feeling that I get so angry because I just see what's going on
Yeah.
and I just it's the system's fucked. I
It's
don't say that
totally
lightly.
fucked because it, there is no interface and there are barely any bandages for it.
Yeah.
It's a complete degradation, and witnessing our loved ones go down.
It's horrible.
And it's
Fuck.
slow.
Yeah.
So it really is, yeah, I feel you. The shadow work, and to be able to speak about it.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I have, with all that psychological stuff, I have a supervision group. So I have a professional group where I get to, share a lot of the crazy shit that I hear.
Hmm.
Because if I didn't get to do that, I think I would be really sick and very physically damaged. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
I think I wouldn't be so healthy. But you have to be able to vent it, share it, um,
That's what I figured. I
talk
figured that
about
it,
it,
yeah,
talk through it.
I figured that's what would be the healthiest way, and especially on the drum kit. I take a lot of it out on the drums, so that's great for that.
Nice.
But I think that channeling that anger because, as I just said, it's the system is fucked and it's broken down. And I'm at this long care facility every day, and
Wow.
and it's seeing somebody that you love so much lose day by day. They're who they are is being chipped away,
Mm,
and they're
so
not. It's
sorry,
not and
honey.
yeah, and then to see what it's doing to my wife, that kills me. It because there's no answers. I can't. You can't. I
Hmm.
want to. As a guy, I want to fix shit.
Yes,
So if
of
something's
course.
broken, I want to fix it. So how do you can't fix this?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like and then you're trying to comfort other people. You're trying to take care of yourself, like you just said. So I don't want to bottle this anger up. I don't want to,
yeah,
and this is where it comes into losing my this compassion and becoming calloused. I'm
yes,
worried over
yeah,
time it's going to chip me away to where I'm going to become some bitter, uncaring person. I don't think so. I mean, I really don't think that I wouldn't let
yeah.
that
I don't
happen,
think
but I'm
so.
worried about it. I'm worried
Yeah.
about it because I don't know these I call when I go there, Maria, I think it's I call it the place of the forgotten. And that's the only thing that comes to my it breaks my heart to say that because all these people and there's not a lot of people visiting them and I get it there's probably
Hmm.
reasons but I love going to the smoking area because man they are some cool people in that smoking area man if you just sit and talk to them which I do I basically
Nice.
end up interviewing them because it's just in my nature so I sit down I start talking to them and they light up because somebody's taking a
Somebody's
fucking
engaging
interest in
them.
them.
Yeah,
It's like somebody wants to know their life, and then if you
yeah,
sit and listen, they have these amazing, incredible lives, but they're forgotten.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's our ageism. We have a society, a matrix society of ageism, where after a
Yeah,
certain age, you're just kind of written off that it's over. It's
yeah.
over. And
That's
that's so sad to me because and like for me being a certain age now, being
mhm.
a senior citizen, like literally
You'd never know it.
a
You
senior
would,
citizen.
you never know it, Maria.
And then I'm realizing, holy shit, man, that transition into that realm. And I see the dismissiveness of
That's right.
our elders.
Yep.
I mean, I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel it for myself. And that it's a matrix construct, of course, that for women after 40, after 50, after
Hmm.
60, my 66th birthday is next Tuesday. So it's like, geez, Louise, okay. Um, and then and then I see um posts of people who are 5 years younger than me or just a little bit older than me. And I'm just like, I can't even, uh, they look like hell. Like, what's happening here? Like, what is going on that this ageism thing that I don't really relate to? And I think the reason why I don't relate to it is because I have meaningful work. I have meaningful relationships. I
Yeah.
have relationships with people that I've known since I was 5, since I was 15, and I'm still in their life. So it's just weird. It's weird
Yeah.
to see this sort of decrepitness, this dismissal, this forgetting of other human beings, which is why. you know, we talked about this on the music segment about how I used to play the piano at nursing homes,
Oh, they love it. Oh my
and
God.
it was fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
They love music. And these are things again I'm noticing. And because I want to do that. I want to go with my friend who plays guitar and I can I don't know, I'll bring a tambourine in or something like that. I can't bring in a drum kit, but
Or bring a
um
cajon, one of the
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and they're like, we would love for you guys to come and play music. And you see
that's
people
so
light up.
cool.
It's so, and I don't, and yeah, like, so I'm getting to know people because I'm there every day. So you
Oh
start
my
to get to know
God.
certain people and stuff like that. And yeah, you're right. It's this weird thing. And think about in the past, the elderly were put on a pedestal, like they were like sacred
Right.
because they had all this knowledge. It's completely inverted now. That's how you
Yeah,
know the system is involved because it's
completely.
inverted. Now they're
Completely. We're
forgotten.
listening to a bunch of fucking moronic kids that live in their parents' basement. It's
Yep,
God, stop.
yep,
Full stop already.
yep. And that's frustrating because it's like they shouldn't be forgotten. They're
Hmm.
smart. Well, so I mean, there's issues. I'm not trying to say there's not because,
Of course. Of
but they're,
course.
they have value to me. It's like, it's only because I don't think a lot of people think of it like that because it's not in their face, and usually it's not till something is affecting you, and like this was with me. I knew about depression, but I didn't understand real mental illness like dementia and Parkinson's and these other conditions that slowly rob you of who you are.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. We've all heard it, and we kind of, you might know somebody, but until it's in your life and you see what it's doing, it's a real shame. It's not, it shouldn't be allowed what's going on to the elderly. I just,
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. And one of my best friends is she just turned 81,
wow, that's
and
nice.
she is and I've known her for 40 over 40 years. And so
Amazing.
when I met her, she was in her 30s, late
Hmm.
30s. So here she is. She's like 81. And we've had these very, very in-depth conversations about how she feels invisible. She
Hmm.
feels like she has nothing to contribute, and on and on and on. And then, she's a very deep thinker, a very compassionate person. I met her during a time in my life where I was training for certain things like Chinese medicine.
Hmm.
And so we've just she's seen me through lots of different ups and downs and iterations of my work and that kind of thing. And like a few years ago, I was really worried about her because she was talking about, I think I'm kind of done. So I was just
Yeah.
like, shit, what's happening? And, there has been this flow of people in my life that I've known for a very, very long time. Not necessarily in my inner circle, but, old neighbors, old friends, acquaintances that have passed on. And so,
Yeah.
um, and then all of a sudden, she had this idea, and all of a sudden she started teaching adult education classes at the nearby community college
Hmm. That's so
in
cool.
Sedona, and teaching teaching poetry, teaching um, um, just various topics where she gets to design the class, and her classes are like they're very popular. And to see this kind of upticking of my friend Janae, and then she published a book of poems that are just really, really lovely. In fact, I'm going to have her on my show
Oh, I'd love to see
in a
that.
segment
I
of
love poetry.
conversations with women. But she is one of my dearest friends, and she just is like, I've just seen her throughout the decades, and it's just so phenomenal to really watch her have this sort of renaissance
Hmm.
in her creativity, her self-expression, her vibrancy. Um, yeah, it's totally cool.
I honed in on one thing you really what you said was amazing, but one thing that you really said is value. That you I think a lot of the people I speak with, and I go through this to a certain degree too, is that you don't think you have value.
Hmm.
Especially and I can only speak on my for me it's with my disease with my condition. I don't even like calling it a disease, but for the sake of the conversation, my
Hmm.
disease. Um I feel I don't want to ever feel like a burden, and I think that knowing you have value or having and is very important, and I think that that's what's really missing too with the elderly, with everybody in some degree. A lot of people I think don't think they really have value, even though they do, and I think that that happens with the elderly too. Is that they don't feel useful anymore, and I think
Yes.
it's so, and that's why when you were telling me that story, I had a really big smile because it's amazing stagnation, I think, is really you can't get in that state. You have to keep moving and trying new things. That's why I encourage people try new things. Don't get stagnant. Explore things, even things that are out of your comfort zone. Like try everything because I think it keeps your mind young. And your
No,
spirit
it's
young.
true. It's
Because
true.
I think yeah, it's like I think a lot of these elderly people and maybe people with disabilities or whatever it is, they think they've lost their value.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's, and I went through that, and that's a tough one where you think you're just a burden and you have no value anymore, and that's so not true. I don't care about your age, you still have value. You have like this, you're like this treasure trove of wisdom and information and things
Yeah.
you've seen
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and you only get that with time. You earned that. That's why in the old days, and that's why, way back when the elderly were put on a pedestal. They earned that position by making it through this matrix,
Hmm.
navigating it.
Yeah. Yeah. Real deal life experiences,
You can't beat it.
weathering the storms,
That's
the
right.
famines, all of that.
You can't beat that. You can't manufacture that. That has to be earned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That's
so
so, so cool. And
yeah.
and then these really, really debilitating conditions,
Hmm.
it's soul sucking.
Oh, it's horrible. And they have no answers. That's what frustrates me too, is that they
Hmm.
have no fucking answers for anything. You go talk to people and they oh well, we don't really know. It could be this, but it's kind of like this, and it might have a touch of this. I'm
Oh
like,
my
what is this? A
God.
fucking cooking show? Like a sprinkle of this, a little dash of that, like, and then you start to
Wow.
realize that all these ones I'm speaking about, like dementia, Alzheimer's, and all that, they all kind of have this overlapping bleeding together, and they
Hmm.
really don't, they're just kind of, they really are literally throwing shit against the wall to see what will stick when it comes to medications and that, and I'm just like, this can't be the way. There has to be, I don't know the answers, I would never claim I do, but I
Yeah.
do know one thing, that this is not the way. You cannot put people away, forget about them,
Yeah,
and
I
kind of
agree.
just, and then I don't know, like you can't get, I can't get answers for anything. It's like, well, like I was just saying, a little of this might be that, and I'm just like, this is insanity. And then they just try different things, and it's like, well, this pill might work, this one might not, and it's craziness, Maria.
Wow.
And it's so frustrating. I'm venting now. See, I'm getting mad
Well,
because
no, I want you to vent because I
it
think
gets me so
that
mad.
the venting is like a really important
Yeah.
part of the sort of excavating and the sort of deprogramming, if you will,
Hmm.
of the horrors that we encounter, the unfairness, the injustices that we encounter on like a daily basis, you know?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, vent away.
But that's the thing. These things that are, and it's not just elderly. You're making a great point. We encounter them every day, but it's amazing how people can choose not to see it. Like you, like an distraction, whatever it is. I get it,
Yeah.
and willfully not looking. I mean, like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't see what's going on over there. You know what's going on over there. Stop. But
Yeah.
you're willfully not addressing it, kind of thing, and ignoring it. And that's how we got into this shit show. Is by this ignoring and this, and people, it frustrates me because they don't realize how they're being manipulated. And these things,
Mhm.
I was saying, I consider elderly people, I consider everybody super valuable. Everybody's got value. They really do. And I've learned that by talking to people. Fuck man,
Yeah.
get out and talk to people and listen to their story. And you're going to see that people have this incredible value and
Yeah.
knowledge. Not everybody, I'm sure. Like we were saying, there's assholes that are out there. They're bad people. I get it. But I'm saying the people most people have this incredible wisdom about them. And even young people, like
Hmm.
it's very interesting how when you start talking to people, and maybe it's just because I've interviewed so many people like
Yeah.
you. You've interviewed
Well,
way more than I
and
have.
I think that's key. I think that's key. I mean, I know that my greatest teacher was a 4-year-old girl, man.
Yeah. And a lot of people will not understand what you just said. They're going to be like,
She
what is she
kicked my
talking about?
ass.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
four
Yeah.
year old. What did you learn, if I can ask?
I
Like, what
what
did,
I learned was to be really, really present and calm
Mhm.
during these explosions
Incredible.
and to not match that energy with a similar thing to try to control.
Mhm.
It was for me to, when she was here, I would just bring it down. And
Incredible.
slowly we would be back in equilibrium. But it took a long, long time,
Mhm.
you know. Um, yeah, we're talking about my stepdaughter, and just and she was born to a mother who was a heroin addict.
Oh,
So
that's sad.
in utero, the
Mhm.
heroin addiction and all that. So her nervous system was just fucked up
Yeah,
from get-go.
that's rough.
And so and when I got her at 11 months, I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I was committed to being there in a way to, and for selfish reasons, to right my own fucked up childhood by really being present for this little being
Mhm.
and her brothers. So it was selfish, and at the same time it served these
Right.
three little innocent beings who, they didn't ask for any of this stuff.
Right.
um so
It's
I
yeah.
learned how to, just really navigate emotional upheaval, panic, and that kind of chaotic, to really just kind of energetically contain it and
Mhm.
bring it all to this peaceful calm,
Yeah. I
to
and
de-escalate chaos.
what you got from see, this is the greatest part of, I call this like transmuting. This is like true alchemy to me, is what
Yes.
you're describing because of your childhood, and we've talked about it many times on my show. What you went through and how you were raised. That I see how you transmuted that
Yeah.
into what you're just speaking about now. You recognized the chaos and then you knew how to deal with it
Yeah.
because of the experience you went through.
Yeah.
It's that showing that something dark and traumatic can be dealt with
Hmm.
when you do the shadow work, and it can be
Yeah.
used as a
Indeed.
great teaching tool. That's what
Yeah.
I heard when you were telling me that, is because I know your story as a child. I know a lot of your backstory because we've talked so much.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like, wow,
Yeah.
you transmuted that pain into something that you could teach these children because you were there at one time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's what I'm talking about. This wisdom that you earn. This isn't a wisdom and a knowledge that you earn.
Yeah. Well, and it's trial and error, to
That too. Yeah.
like when I was a child, it didn't do me any good to match her energy
Right.
and try to make myself, no. No, it was not going to work. I was going to get killed.
Yeah.
Um so my way was to leave my body, transcend, or make myself very, very small and go hide. So, uh, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. I
Hmm.
don't freeze. I don't really fawn. I just leave.
Yeah.
I just leave. And, you know, part of leaving too, when you can't actually physically leave, is withdraw your energy, bring the energy just down, dial it
Hmm.
way, way down.
Yep. That's what people don't do now. This is why
Yeah.
we could do a whole show on social
Oh,
media because it always
oh,
goes
I
back to that
know.
because people are just I can't I'm on social media, Mari, for 20 minutes and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like it's so toxic. Like just people
It's completely toxic. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, people sit here all day doing this. Like, no wonder we're in
Yeah.
the
No,
mess we're
thank
in.
you.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. It's like it's just such a toxic place. And so yeah, it reflects what's going on around us. Like it's
Yeah.
this mirror. I think to me it holds up a mirror. And I'm just like, "Oh my God, we got problems."
Yes, that's a really, really good point, you know, because we're so and our food and our relationships and the stress and the trauma and just the mind control matrix horrors shit shows,
Hmm.
you know, are we're just being bathed with stress hormones.
Oh, of
We're
course.
just being baited to react constantly and to have an opinion. I just don't care anymore. You
That's
know,
what I'm
where
getting
I
at.
feel that the baiting and all this, and I'm like going, yep, too late.
Yep.
Boom. Let's just log off. Goodbye. I just I don't even I won't even bother anymore, you
Yeah.
know.
And
And
that
that's been the really the best thing, to be honest.
Deconnect. I love disconnecting. Like I really do. I love being out in nature now and stuff. If I am online, it's usually doing an interview, setting up an
Of
interview. I
course.
use it for what it's meant and doing great things like this. I know its value, but the sick part that I've always said too about this whole social media and internet is that you said it perfectly just a second ago that it feeds that whole mindset and like if you can find a group for anything online so
Hmm.
it's not like you're trying. Either you're finding solutions, which we're talking about, doing the work
Yeah.
on yourself, the shadow work, or which a lot of people do the opposite. They find these groups and they find these areas of the internet where it just feeds it more and
Yeah,
more
I
and
don't want to
more.
join a group. I don't want to
No,
join a
neither do
group.
I.
You
Nope.
know, one of my favorite groups is I'm part of this Russian group, and it's all about the beauty of Russia. And Russia is gorgeous. I've been there several times. I'm part Russian, so to be able to physically through the various wonderful posts of these people that live there, that travel there, and sharing recipes and all that kind of stuff for borscht and just it's just so beautiful. And I love the mountains and just the immense forest lands. And on all of the just the physical beauty.
Hmm.
I love that stuff. I love that
That's a
stuff.
good group. That's
Yeah, it's
not
a
a toxic.
fantastic group.
Yeah.
And so I finally figured out, oh, that's how you not get added automatically. You actually got to name it and not allow it, because I was wondering, how did I get in this group? Like, what
Hmm.
happened?
Yep.
People can just add you apparently, and it's like, no, 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 no. I'm not down with it. So
Yep.
I've gone through and that nope, 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 nope. I
That's the
don't
way you
want to
got
be
to
part
do,
of it.
man. Yeah, you have to unplug. You
Yeah.
like it's so important. It really is. And I'm glad we kind of touched on that because we all are on the internet. We all use it and stuff. I get it, but you have to unplug. A lot of people should be unplugging and they're not. And it's just
A lot of
their
people
mind.
should have a license to
Oh,
be on social media because wow, there's some wacky,
yes.
wacky people. Holy shit.
You told me a few stories that you went through. I'm like, oh my God. Wow.
It's kind of frightening. It's like, wow, dude, you have that kind of time? You have that kind of time, you know, these orations. And you know, I've done some orations, but I do them on purpose. They have a purpose.
Hmm.
There's a goal there's a teaching, something that I'm sharing that everybody can relate to. So I like doing that occasionally, but the people that just fucking cough up this shit every single day,
Yeah.
and then they tag me and I'm like, holy moly. So I finally figured out, oh, they can't tag me automatically. I get to approve it. So I just remove the tag and I hide that shit.
Hide it.
It's
Yep.
like
It's like
I,
I don't want to
I,
be a
I
part of
don't
it.
relate.
It's just smart. It's like, and we hear about it all too often. How people get stuck on in that like this social media loop kind of thing, and if you let it, it's so toxic. And I just won't allow myself to be a part of it. But I see, we come from a time where there was no internet, so
Yeah.
we know that you can live without the
You can
internet.
live
You
without it. You can live
absolutely.
outside.
That's right. But try to tell that to somebody that's been born and they know nothing but the internet.
Oh my
That's so
God.
foreign to
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
right? So
Indeed.
I understand. I try to look at things at both sides. I really do. I try to be like, okay, let me put myself in the shoes of the other person. Let me kind of try to look at it from their set. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't, but I try. And I get it with the younger generation that, this is all they know is social media and the internet, which to me is terrifying. I'm like, thank God we've had that experience. I think we're very blessed, you and I and the people in our age group, to have know both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like eventually there's not going to be us. It's just going to be people that know social media, know the internet, know
Indeed.
technology. We have
Indeed.
that. We're in that bridge. I think that's a very unique, sacred place that
Hmm.
we are in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I was outside.
Me
I
too.
was outside or I was inside practicing music or reading
Yep.
or drawing and journaling.
Yep.
I didn't even really watch TV because I wasn't really allowed to watch TV. So it was never a big deal. I didn't care.
Yep.
And then when I had the kids, we never had a TV.
Right.
I,
But
I
see that
still don't have a TV.
really, I know your boyfriend does.
He does. He takes me to all the great shows. It's like, I've never heard half the shit, and I'm like, wow, okay. But I also am very, I shows, movies, media, I get very emotionally drawn in. So I have to monitor that stuff because I will find certain things
Oh.
very upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I remember when I was married once upon a time and uh and we lived in separate houses, but I would be at his house and he'd have a television. And I just remember it was during the time of and I have the stepkids. So during the time of Miami Vice.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so you'd watch Miami Vice and I'm like trying to doing dishes or whatever. But then Miami Vice would like trigger the sort of amorous parts of him. I'm just like, get the fuck off me. Get off me. You're all just hopped up on this shit. I want none of it, and I would just go home. But I think about that and go, yeah, yeah, I don't find that shit sexy. Sorry. It's not happening.
It's well, I can't imagine not like I enjoy TV and movies and stuff. So the fact you don't have a TV, it's
Yeah.
like wow,
I
like
mean, I'll stream, but then that means I have to turn on Wi-Fi again after I shut everything
oh,
down. So it's
right.
like, so I'll read. I
Reading
just
is
read.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, books on like actual books. I tell
Yeah.
people like real
Actual
books.
books. I have a
Yeah, I don't like it.
shit ton of actual books. I have an iPad that Chris gave me that has all kinds of like digital books and and I enjoy that. I don't have to be on the internet for that. So that's great because they're all downloaded. It's
Yeah.
great, you
Yeah,
know.
like that's the great you can unplug, believe me. I tell
Mhm.
people you can do it. It's going to be
You
painful at
can do
first.
it.
Yeah, you can do it. Just turn shit off and kind of just I don't know, find a hobby or something. It sounds so funny, but it's like go out and do stuff and experience things. Life is so God, see now I'm starting to sound like a bumper sticker or something, but life does go by very quick when you think about it. We're here very briefly. We have this fleeting moment. That's why I always say time is the most important thing. So if anyone
Mhm.
anyone that takes the time to listen to my shows, my interviews, spend time talking to me. I treasure that because
Mhm.
time is so valuable. It's the
Yeah.
most valuable.
Yeah.
And we only have a
Indeed.
limited mind, but people are just, I don't, I guess it boils down to stagnation. I get angry when I see people kind of stuck in this stagnant place where they are just existing. And I'm just like, God, there's so much cool shit you could be doing and trying. And that's what I think keeps you young. It keeps the mind young. I think it keeps your spirit young. It keeps your everything young.
Indeed. Indeed. It's really engaging because, taking time, making time. We are the makers of time. And
Exactly.
so it really is about prioritizing the things. Like I've got certain things that I like to do. I choose everything that I do, I choose to do it.
Hmm.
It's not by default. I just choose to do it. And, music, dealing with my caretaking my plants,
I love your
um,
plants.
working with clients and students, doing these amazing conversations with my global friends online and in person. These are important things that I want to cultivate along with self-care,
Hmm.
and it's really a choice.
It
And
is.
so when I hear people go, I don't have time for that shit, it's like, okay.
Yeah, cultivate's a good word. And then what on the line of what we're talking about, this just came to me, is we were talking about how valuable time is and how we have a
Hmm.
limited amount. Now think about how your time is being hijacked. Think of all the shit that you're
Indeed.
engaging in, whether it's in online or in real life, that doesn't matter. At the end of
Hmm.
it, I kind of always bring myself back, Maria, like I've been doing this recently too. I'm on my deathbed. What at that moment, what is going to matter to me?
Yeah.
At that last moment, am I going to be sitting there going, "Oh my God, that person on social media called me an asshole," and I got to like, does that matter, or is what I've cultivated around me tangible things, or what are going to
Indeed.
matter? That's the real. That's to me is the real. I don't even know the word. The real substance, the
Hmm.
real
Yeah.
tangible,
Yeah.
the real thing that we should be striving for. Not what is all this stuff that we put our limited amount of time into and energy that doesn't matter in the end, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like fuck and when I started thinking of it like that is when things really started to kind of align is a
Yeah.
good word.
Yeah.
Because I was like, we're only
Exactly.
here for a short time, man. At best, what do you got? 100 years? I mean, if you're doing really good, you make 100 years in this fucking world,
I don't think
you're
I want to live 100 years.
uh,
Holy crap.
I
I have no interest in that whatsoever. I want to be like my grandmother and just decide, I'm done, and go
yeah,
to bed and just go.
yeah,
And
you're
that's
just
what,
done.
the last time I saw her, that's what she said to me. She goes, "This is probably the last time we'll meet because I'm nearing that place where I'm just gonna go to sleep and
That's crazy how she
and
knew.
I'm gonna go." And then she says, "And you do not go to the light when it's your time." That's what she said.
I've heard this a lot. I've had
Oh yeah,
shows on
she
this.
was she was she was one of the first few people when I was younger to tell me that. And I always had suspected that the tunnel of light, that it was a conveyor belt to re-up on yet another incarnation, where you had your memory wiped and then you just got to start. And I'm like going, no, this is like Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
I'm not signing up for this again. And my grandmother, bless her heart, I mean, she was a very, very wise woman. And, I'm so thankful that I had a 15-year relationship with her as I got to know
incredible.
her.
Yeah,
And I got to do some really, really cool shit with her. But that was one of the things, that was her parting gift, was don't go to the light. Don't
that's so
think
fascinating.
you don't think that after you die, that you're gonna have loved ones waiting for you. They are fake. Don't do it. It's another archonic shit show, basically. And I'm like, whoa,
I've heard this a lot, and
dude.
yeah, I've heard people talk about this, and that just started showing up like probably a year ago. Where these conversations, I've never had them before. I've had the
Hmm.
tunnel of
Hmm.
light and all of that, but not
Yep.
turn around And I thought to myself, maybe that is like the pinnacle of the great work, is doing the work on yourself, of course, while you're in this
I
place,
I
and
think I think there's something to that.
to turn around when you
Yeah.
at that moment. That
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
maybe that's part of this work. Maybe that's what this all this hidden knowledge is and stuff like that. It may sound silly, but maybe that is that it's that simple. Maybe
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
you to know enough about yourself and to know about the world and spirituality, all the things we talk about, to know that that one moment is what really matters. Do you want to
Hmm.
continue going on the conveyor belt, like you said, or do you
Yeah.
turn around?
Or let's escape the matrix because
Yeah,
there's holes in the grid that you can escape through
yeah,
and leave this archonic creation.
yeah.
Because, and that's the thing, the demons, the powers that want to be, I keep telling people this, they need us to reincarnate so they can keep this shit going. We don't need them. We're not from here.
It's a good point. And maybe that's true courage too, knowing to turn your back
Yeah.
at that moment. Because if you have all of these things and they're going to use everything that you love and hold dear as bait
Yeah.
to get you to go back into that soul machine, and then what courage that would take, and knowing yourself,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
knowing who you are to turn around.
Yeah.
And with this is kind
Well,
of like the, yeah,
and
wow.
what part of what she said too, because I remember, and we were at the airport, like going, oh, okay, now I'm feel really stressed here. And I said, well, okay, so what, you're just going to go to sleep? She says, my intention is to leave this realm. And she said intention very, very clearly. And to focus at your last breath, to stay conscious as you disengage from your body, and to consciously propel your soul, your essence, your spirit through the holes in the grid of the matrix.
Hmm.
I just started, wow,
She
I
sounded really
started
wise.
researching that shit. Like,
Wow.
what? And then maybe I think it was 10 years later. Well, so this was 2001, 2002. So 10 years later, I came upon the work of Wes Penra,
Hmm.
who has written
Right.
so many. I mean, his blog, holy, I would eat that up. It was just like, oh, I would just eat it up. My friends are like going, you're a little insane. And I go, I'm not any more insane than you people following Esther Hicks and The Secret.
Exactly.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
But we're the crazy ones. That's the thing, right?
I'm
They
I'm
try to,
perfectly happy to be
yeah.
crazy. I'm
Yep.
perfectly happy.
Yep. It's like, well, that's the that we're talking about narcissists too, to kind of wrap it up at full circle,
Hmm.
this sucker.
Yeah,
Um, we were talking, and that's what I've learned too, is that these people that you run into, I call them energy vampires, because that's
yeah,
exactly what they are.
yeah.
It's amazing the depths they'll go to make you feel like you're the crazy one, like you're the
Yes.
one that's broken.
Oh,
It's not
yeah.
them, it's not the world, or it's not, especially not them, it's you. You and Dog, when I had that realization,
Oh
I'm like,
my
oh my
God.
God, they're trying to invert it and make me. I'm like, I'm not. I
Yeah,
have to remind myself, I'm not the crazy one. Like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
isn't that wild? Like,
No, it's very true. The last person that I just stopped working with really wanted me to argue for her limitations.
that's crazy.
And I
Wow.
was just like going, okay, all right, I'm kind of done here. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just done.
Jeez, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I'm done.
I'm
It's like I'm
done.
done. Yeah, I guess that's where you get to the point of that. I think in everything eventually. I think you just I would hope most people get pushed to that point where they're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like you, and then
Yeah.
like you said, put these boundaries up. And I think it's probably important. And this is stuff I'm going to think about after this conversation. If anybody's wondering what I'm going to be thinking about, is everything that we've talked about. But really, boundaries are great for external, but maybe even boundaries internal.
Oh yeah,
Like,
for sure.
because I can be vicious to myself. I can really, nobody can say stuff to me that would ever affect me more than what I say to myself. I can be really hard on
Yeah.
myself, and maybe I need to start learning how to put boundaries up.
Yeah,
So
it's up leveling that self-talk that we
yeah.
do where and my self-talk has the voice of my mother who's got a very thick accent, and I'm like,
Hmm.
she's at it again. I'm
Yeah.
like going, okay, are you done? And sometimes I'll have to set a timer and just I'll give her 5 minutes. It's like you got 5 minutes, go.
Yeah.
And she runs out of steam. I mean, it's fascinating to me.
That's a
Like,
good
wow.
technique. Yeah, that might be a good technique. Kind of like
Yeah,
that
try it.
self-talk. Just hey, okay, you got 5 minutes. Give me your best. And then at the end of it, you're just like, okay, I'm done. There you go. You've had your moment. I don't know. But I definitely know that this conversation was important to me, and because of just what I've been going through, and it all stemmed from that message I sent you. And I'm glad that
Yeah.
we kind of made this happen because you were kind of going through something at that moment too. It was kind of
Hmm.
weird how I was going
Yeah.
through, and we connected, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I get
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying, and that these conversations I think are important, and I wish
Yeah.
more people could have them.
Yeah. Well, and this in addition to our conversations and our exchanges, I think are really important because
Agreed. Yes.
uh,
Yes.
we have the opportunity and the ability to reach people with our various platforms, which I think is actually very, very important. And
Hmm.
so I don't poo-poo the gift of conversations like this because I think they're so necessary because there's so much fucking glitz and
Yeah.
preposterous, just overly glitzed out, like really slick presentations. I'm just not that.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
just
fake.
not
It's
that.
fake. That's what it
Yeah,
is to me. It's very fake, and especially when you look at people, what they usually put their best foot forward on social media. When I think of Instagram and all that, it's all these selfies and everybody, your best self and doing all these great things. And I'm like, but it's probably most of it's not true. It's this
yeah,
illusion.
bullshit,
Yeah,
complete
and I want to
bullshit.
tell people that I'm raw, and this conversation is raw for me. Like, this is what
Yeah,
I deal with. This is what I go through, and these conversations, like Mari just said, are super important. And I do value our friendship, and I can reach out to you and get your insight and your thoughts and stuff. I think that's really
yeah,
special.
and we do the same. Oh, did you ever figure out what that plant was with the beautiful
Uh,
flowers?
I will message you. I can't. My wife did tell
Okay,
me.
okay, cool, cool.
And
Because
I'll
I'm
butcher it.
curious.
Yeah, she bought another one. So as soon as I go get done
Nice.
this, I'm gonna send you the name of it. But
Awesome.
because I was like, I don't know what this is. Like, usually they have like a name stick or something in the
Hmm.
plant. This one didn't. So I'm looking at it going, I don't know what you
Yeah,
are, but
it's
you're
it's just
awesome.
gorgeous. I mean, it was just like, it's like
Yep.
flourishing, beautiful magenta. I mean, I couldn't believe those
Yeah.
blossoms.
And then, but then they died. Like, they don't come back. So it's
Yeah,
this moment of beauty, which is fascinating. Now these beautiful, beautiful things. I think of
cool.
plants a lot of the time, like these beautiful things, and they only come back one go. They're done
Wow.
at the end of the season. I was like, God, that
Yeah.
plant should be coming up every spring. Like, why is it not coming up every spring? It's so beautiful, but that's the way things are, I
Are you
guess.
going to try to winterize it?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I've had a little success because it gets so damn cold here. I got to get special lighting and
Yeah. Oh,
stuff,
I
which I
know.
did.
It's
Yeah,
that
well,
time
yeah, you'll know.
again.
Yes, so I did. Last year was my first attempt at bringing in some plants that were tropical and
Hmm.
putting the lights on them, and I got them through the winter, and I actually got them through the whole winter, and they made it back this spring and everything. So I'm getting better,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is
because
cool.
you're into the hibiscus and
Yeah, yeah. So it's to get them, yeah, like just being here in Canada, it's these winters are brutal. So
mhm.
it's if I lived in a place like that was always warm or something, and I could have all these beautiful plants, oh my God.
Yeah.
But we get these
Cool.
brutal winters that just devastates everything, like just kills everything. But and it's amazing that anything in nature comes back after these cold spells.
I know.
It's just
They
like,
just go into
geez.
they go into hibernation,
Yeah,
they go into another realm and come back.
yeah, yep. And
Yeah.
then so yeah, I'll definitely let you know the name of the plant because it's really cool. That I managed to save a couple plants that I tried it. Usually,
Yay!
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna bring them in. I'm gonna nurture them during the winter, and they did really well. I mean, with technology now, with the lighting you can buy
I
and stuff
know.
like that, it's getting cheaper. Like now you can go on Amazon and buy plant lights that are not that expensive.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so, I mean, it can be done. But you're a plant expert. Look at your plants.
Well,
Like
and
you're.
I have to I've got to deal with the change of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So I have plant lights, I've got heaters, that kind of thing, because some of them they don't like the cold and it gets
No,
cold here. You know,
they're
they're
like,
not
I don't
into
like that.
it.
And do you have
They
to do a lot of transplanting? That's why I've always wanted to ask you too.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
you must
yeah.
transplant all the time with that many plants.
Yeah, I have to do a lot of so I do restarts when a plant starts really diminishing its quality.
Mm-hmm.
I like do cuttings and propagate and jumpstart them,
Oh, okay.
you know. So I've had success doing that. I've also had some utter fails where it's like, wow, that was not a good idea. Not a good idea.
I've done that with a few plants, especially when I plant them outside in the wrong area. Like they might need a lot of sun, and I put them in a shady spot.
Uh-oh.
By just not knowing, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
learning, and I'm just like, okay, well, and then the plant lets you know very, very quickly that
Yes.
you messed up. So then I'm like, okay, gotta move them, and then it's amazing how they bounce back when they get
Yeah.
what they need. It's
They
kind of
get
like
what they
life, right?
need.
If you get what you need, you flourish. I see. I can break this all down to what we're talking about into like gardening.
It's true. It's true. And sometimes what we need is really just to be listened to
Yep.
be able to, you know, speak, express what's going on without any interjection, without any, you know, without any feedback, without any fixing and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's one of the things that I appreciate about our friendship is that's what we do. We have that exchange, and
Mm-hmm.
then we are on each other's platforms, and we do deep dives on some of these very, very touchy subjects
Mm-hmm.
that I know every one of us is having to face,
That's right.
you know.
That's 100% right. The hard that's what I was just kind of saying, like with the social media, they people put this fake foot forward kind of thing, and it's like that, it's not real. It's
Yeah,
this
it's not.
illusion that your life is amazing and you're doing great, and maybe you are at that point. I'm not saying that it's all bad.
Relationships are so awesome,
Oh yeah, they're
and I
awesome.
don't
Yeah.
have any cellulite. It's, you know, it's like,
Oh,
okay.
filters. Don't get me started on photo filters. Oh my God. Like I've seen people put pictures up that I know in person and I look at them, I'm like, that's not you. Like
Whoa, what's that?
yeah, it's like you got how many filters are on that picture that you put up there? But once again, it's this fake thing that's this fake
Those things
illusion.
are expensive. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. You know, I'm like, I asked somebody, wow, how did you do that? And so she sent me the link to this one filter thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You know, no, good Lord. And then there's like tutorials to try to figure out how the fuck to use them. That's insane. That's insane.
It's like yeah, just be happy with who you are. Take the damn picture.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself and
Yeah,
be
exactly.
real.
Like, see, I've got wrinkles. I've got lots of wrinkles. I've got this. I've got my 11. And then I've got this eye bag here. I
I
I
can't
get
believe
I
you look
get shit
incredible.
for creams. People
Really?
send me, oh yeah, they'll send me email links for samples of eye cream because I've got this bag here. And it's like, dude, I'm 65, okay? I'm not 20. Stop. It-
Yes.
and here it is.
You look incredible for your age. Oh my
Oh my
God. Like
God.
I
Well,
can't believe
thank
that
you.
people you
It's
really do. I'm
funny.
not just yeah, but it's
It's
just
just funny.
At least you're
Yeah.
not getting like God. Now that like I look at these older people too, they get this all this plastic surgery
Oh my
and all.
God.
I'm
Yeah.
just like they don't even look human anymore
Yeah.
after a
It's
while.
like, yeah, you do you, boo. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
do plastic surgery. I don't do needles. I don't do Botox. Holy moly. But I do facial exercises. I've been doing them. I do all kinds of shit. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I live on my own, so that Christopher doesn't have to see the shit that I did.
we're
Just the facial exercises of, you know, pulling things and doing this and getting, all of my neck stuff together. It's like, oh my God, plucking my eyebrows, bleaching them.
I'm just picturing Christopher looking at you doing facial things, exercises. Going, I could just see him going, "What are you doing? Like, why are you stretching your face all over the place?" But it's funny. Like,
Yeah, just all the weird shit that I know he does weird stuff.
yeah.
We
Oh,
we
we all,
I
yeah.
we've got some funny stories
That's so.
of just personal grooming habits and
Oh,
contraptions that you put on your head that are it's like a vacuum cleaner and it's supposed to give you a buzz cut.
I've seen those.
I laughed so hard.
That's amazing. A buzzcut. Well, yeah, as you get older, you get hair in places like I don't get it, man. Like you want hair in your head, and I'm getting it in my
Yeah,
ears,
yeah.
on my ears. I'm like, what in the fuck what is going on here? Like, why do I have hair growing out of my ears? Like,
Oh my God. Just
isn't that crazy?
fucking time. Yeah, Chris does the same thing. And so he's got a barber. He's got this woman that he goes to that does his hair every few weeks, couple of weeks, and
Oh, he's
trims
well
the
groomed.
ear, the
Nice.
nose, and tames the whoop with a
Yeah.
wacky eye.
It's crazy. It's I don't know why it is going on with our hair when we get older, but yeah, you get like one eyebrow. Like I'll have one eyebrow like eyebrow that's like about 4 inches long. I'm like, what? Why are you so healthy and happy and growing like this? Like it's weird. But this is what comes with age, and I rather why I'm not gonna try to stop it and like I'm like you. Like I'm not gonna go and get
Oh my God.
surgeries
I
and
know. It's like,
yeah.
I'm gray. I don't color my hair. I won't. I haven't colored my hair in wow, 8 years.
Geez,
And
that's
I
a
won't do
you're
it. I won't do
no, it
it.
looks
It's like
amazing.
it's too late. I don't want chemicals. Just
Yes.
the whole thing of chemical warfare on women, and I still paint my nails. I wear a ton of makeup. I don't care. I like makeup. Too bad. But I don't wear false eyelashes anymore. So there's a lot of stuff I don't do anymore simply because I don't want glue. I, I just don't want to do it. I want chemicals in my hair.
Just more
I'm
work.
doing a lot of really natural natural products, but yeah, some of that buzzing shit you gotta do.
You got to do it, but that's cool that you wear makeup and stuff. I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
amazing. If it
I'm
makes you
into
feel
it.
good, yeah. Like if you, there's nothing wrong with looking beautiful and feeling good and stuff like
Yeah,
that. I mean, that's also healthy,
yeah,
that and stuff like that. So I get it, but yeah, I think people go to the extreme, like we were just saying with these surgeries and stuff. And I just look at
yeah,
some of these older people. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah. It's pretty frightening. And I don't know if you've ever seen the aftermath of a woman who's had a facelift. I mean, it
uh,
literally looks like somebody beat the shit out of you.
you see, I've
You're
never
all
seen the recovery. Yeah.
like bruised, everything is swollen, and you're doped up on opiates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, holy shit.
All doped up on opiate. How do I look, baby? You look great, baby. You look great. Yeah. Let until the swelling goes down in your face.
Oh my God, it's frightening. And you mortgage your fucking house to cover the cost for this
Yes.
shit. It's like, seriously,
Yep.
man. I sit there. I mean, this is the Jew in me. I sit there and hem and haw about, okay, a 6.99 lipstick or the one that I really want, which is $36. It's like,
Hmm.
shit, I gotta look for the dupes.
Yep.
That's all I got to do. And I'm good that way.
No, that's a good way to be, though. That's a good way to be. And but that's what the surgeries too is they once again we take everything to the extreme. I'm
Yeah,
nothing if I mean if somebody wants to get a little bit of a facelift or something to get rid of some wrinkles, hey, I would never fault you for it. But now
yeah,
it's this fake world once again. Now they're getting
it's
ass
creepy.
implants and it's crazy what their people are doing to their
What?
bodies. Oh, yeah, you can get ass implants now and everything. You want a big booty, Maria? There you go. We'll hook it up.
Oh, Lord. Well, I have been accused of having a butt like a boy, and it's just, it is what it is. Oh my God.
I don't know what that means, a butt like a boy.
Well, I just remember being told that by a boyfriend, and I was crushed. I'm like, what? Like, I don't even
Well,
know
that
what
yeah,
that means. And so I was traumatized by it, but I just let it go. It's like, I don't know what else to do.
I don't know how I'd react to that either as a woman. Be like, you got a butt like a boy. I'd be like, what does that even mean?
And he's a boy, so it's
Yeah,
like, okay, I'm not
yeah, that's
quite sure what that means, but it's a little concerning, you
yeah,
know.
like that's
Yeah,
interesting. But
yeah.
yeah, that's the if you I'm not sure how much you've ever looked into the different surgeries you can get, but I've it's crazy what people are getting done, like what they're putting
I
themselves
believe it. I believe
for
it.
this
I mean, it's
fake,
frightening.
yeah, for this fake lie of beauty, like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
the media puts out there that this is beautiful, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, which it's not, but
yeah. No, it's not. It's not, and it's just it's moving towards that. It's in support of transgender stuff,
yep,
and
yep.
also the transhumanist stuff.
Yes, I was just
Like,
gonna say that
you're not
that's what
happy with what you're born with? Go. And
go.
I think that is like really, I think it's dangerous, frankly. But
Yes,
to each their own. Your body, your choice. Yeah, go.
exactly. That's what I say. If you want to do it, but I think you're right. I think it's going to that transhumanism and all this slow boil
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
people used to it, and because it's crazy.
yeah.
The world's crazy.
It
That's what I keep
indeed.
saying.
And we are just endeavoring to bring all the chaos down
Yeah.
and get back into center about what's important. And I'm looking at the time. I'm like, holy shit. We've been at it for a while.
I
Oh,
well, I
Lord.
love our conversation, so it doesn't feel long when you're
Yeah,
in the
no,
moment.
it doesn't at all. But anyways, uh, do you have any parting words, my friend?
Any parting words? Geez, I don't know. I'm not the guy for wisdom, but I guess I would. What I would like to tell people is that what you're going through, you're not alone. These things
Mhm.
that you're dealing with, that we all are, and these questions that we ask, and I just want to let people know how important it is to really unplug and get to know who you are. I think over time they've done a great job. People of making people not like there. People are so um manipulated now that a lot of people I don't even think realize or even know who their true self is. And I
Mhm.
think that that's that work that you have to do, and that's my parting words would be to do the work. It's important, and really focus in on what's important and what is distracting you. That's not important. That doesn't mean anything, because there is things around you that are super important, that mean something, that have value, and then you're surrounded by this toxic shit that is no value. It does nothing good for anyone, and you got to get away from it. So I don't know. I'm not good at wisdom.
Indeed.
You're the wisdom person.
No, not me, not me. We'll have all of Rick's information in the show notes below. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much
Yes,
for your time.
thank
I
you.
I love that we had a good laugh at the end because yeah, I mean, some of those filters are like the filters with the fucking bunny ears and
Yeah.
weird shit, or giant, the giant tits that are like bouncing up and down. I'm like, what is happening here? Oh
Yep.
my God. Like,
Oh yeah. There's a filter for anything now. God, you want to be whatever you want to be. There's a filter for it. It's weird.
wow,
It's just weird.
that's just like really so strange to me. Anyway,
Yes,
we will continue on this conversation at another time.
of course.
And thank you once again. And thank everybody for tuning in because we need to talk more about these no-go zone, these tender topics, these topics that are like really, really triggering. and also to be able to kind of set a tone for disengaging from our traumas, disengaging from our stories, even if it's just for a little bit, and just take a break. That it's okay to take a break and to have some levity and have some fun. So, all right, kids, until next time, here is to Love, Truth, and Beauty. Mwah! Bye, love.